Here's what's cooking on today's Sports Stove Local Hour. We continue and actually wrap up our EKU position previews with quarterback and tight end. We're talking with Coach Smith, Coach Keeran, Hunter Brown, and of course, Rhino's here too. That's what's cooking on today's Sports Stove Local Hour.
McKinney looks, steps to the pocket, throws, open receiver, touchdown! Colonels, we're not done yet!
Our identity is we're going to press for 40 minutes, we're going to play up-tempo, we're going to play with unbelievable passion, and then our brand is the most exciting 40 minutes in sports.
Welcome into an all-new edition of the Sports Stove Local Hour presented by All Around Roofing, Central Kentucky's #1 stop for anything on the exterior of your home, whether it's roofs, siding, gutters, windows. It doesn't matter. All Around Roofing will take care of you. Find more information at allaroundroofingky.com. It's Monday night, and you know that means it's time to talk football, and specifically EKU football. I'm Vince Stover, joined as I am every Monday night by the one and only Ryan Jackson. Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Got one more week until the big camp starts, so everything's starting to wind down, getting exciting. So I'm ready.
Does the body feel that camp is right around the corner? Like, is there this little bit of tightening up, cringing, a little bit of, oh, this is going to be a little, just got to kick it into gear now?
You know, I would say so. It's kind of funny. All us and a bunch of the other old guys are in there in the training room a lot more than we were our freshman year, going into like our senior year stuff. We're like, man, we probably should have been doing this our freshman year, so we wouldn't have this right now. So I would say usually around this time is when stuff start kind of tightening up, but professionals will take care of their body and they'll be ready for camp.
What is the most fun, I guess, conditioning or workout thing that you've done this summer that they've had you do? I've seen some videos of guys out in the sand pits, volleyball sand pits, and runs around campus in different places and things like that. Guys, different things. So what's the most fun, not necessarily something you want to do every day, but something that was fun that you guys did that maybe was even a little different than normal?
I was about to say, I don't know if it would be considered as much fun, but it was definitely team building, and it was a big group run. We had, I think it was 2 weeks ago. We ended up, Coach Wells and Coach Cox, who came up with something special, and a bunch of our other strength coaches came up with something special to try and get the team, boost morale up, and a lot of new guys, so a lot of people needed a little tour around campus. So we used the opportunity like that. We divided up into groups, our little bigs, mids, and skills, and had to run pretty much all around campus, right? Started at the field. The bigs, we probably had, well, we didn't have the worst route. I think the mids had the worst route, but ran all the way down to the ravine. For all those who don't know where the ravine is, it's those stone steps on University Drive. We all touched Daniel Boone's toe, the golden toe that everybody should touch before a game anyway. We had our bear crawls up and down the ravine. Some of the guests on the show tonight, Coach Smith was definitely there to watch us struggle. Then I don't know how long we were in the drills for, but we all picked our rope back up after the drill was done, got to running, ran all the way over to the sand volleyball courts, did a good little workout there. Where did we go after that? We went to the parking garage to where y'all would have comically seen a bunch of us try and push a truck. That's always really fun. Luckily, we're bigger guys, so I really would have loved to see the skills do it more than the bigs. And then we met back up at the stadium to do our little a good little stadium run, something we had just implemented in our last fourth quarter drill. And I would say that was probably the most exciting new thing we've ever done. And I think the team attacked it and we challenged each other, and it worked out well. I think it definitely hit the point of what we were trying to build.
I can remember being your age and being able to find some fun in that. At my age now, I just look at that and think, oh my goodness, I can't believe I could have ever even come close to doing that compared to what I could do right now. So good times, man. Yeah, camp starts up, let's hear 1 week, right? And that's when everything really still, of course, dialing in on the fundamentals. But I think that's when we're going to start to see the depth chart start to shake out a little bit as well. And then it won't be long, and all the focus turns to Mississippi State, which I shared on social media this week. Ryan, I don't know if you saw it or not, but I saw a preseason SEC poll, and Mississippi State was second to last, only to Vanderbilt. And so I just commented with taking an L on week 1 ? And I believe it was Jeremiah's mother who responded with, "I could see that." But all the attention turns to Mississippi State very, very soon as well. I'm excited to see where it turns out. Well, today we're talking tight ends and quarterbacks, and we are going to answer all the questions everyone's been asking all season. Probably not, but nonetheless, we're going to talk about what's going on in these rooms and what is ahead for this season. We're excited about it. So we're going to go ahead and bring on our first guest of the night, and he's here and ready to go. He is the quarterback coach for EKU. He's Coach Maxwell Smith. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
What's up, guys? How's it going? Vince, thanks for having me. Rhino, good to see you, brother.
All right, so let's start with the ravine. Is that what you called it, Ryan? The ravine, is that right? All right, let's start there. What did you see from the bigs when they were struggling in the ravine?
Well, what I saw on the jog over there, because I followed them, was a lot of happy guys smiling, excited to get the thing going. And then once they got to the ravine and realized they were going to have to bear crawl up steps, there was push-ups in between, and it was nonstop until the whistle blew. Yeah, it wasn't very fun for him. But I could see why Rhino brings that up because, yeah, it was a heck of a challenge for the guys. They definitely dominated it, and it was definitely fun to watch, and I'm glad that I didn't have to partake.
Now, yeah, I can hear that. Now, you said you followed him over. Did you jog over, or did you ride the golf cart, or what were you doing?
No, I did a little jog. I made it a workout for myself because that was actually last day before, the players went on their break and us coaches as well. So, I tried to shed a pound or two, before going to the beach.
Sure. Oh, man. All right, let's get into the quarterbacks this year. Of course, when you were hired on, you came in February of last year. When you came in originally, you were working with Parker McKinney, who had been around. He may have been older than you. I'm not sure. He was around for a while here at EKU, and you had this veteran presence to work with. Of course, you had the other guys as well. This year you come in. It's not to say you don't have any veterans in the room, but you don't have anyone who spent that much time in the program. And I'm curious, just what's the mindset for you? Is there a different mindset going into this offseason? The goal is obviously the same, but is the mindset of working with these guys different than what it was last year when you first came in?
The mindset hasn't really changed. We're going to attack it the same way, no matter who it is at the helm. But it is much different, because obviously, like you said, I got here in February and I spent a spring with a kid that, he did know the system better than I did. And it took some time for me to get on his level and, obviously, teach him some things, little nuances within the system that he knew so well. But yeah, just a lot more meeting times and a lot more diving in to each concept. And because, it's new for, one of the guys that transferred in that we got in Matt Morrissey. But Cam just trying to take the next step and understanding what we're trying to do within our scheme. And it's been good so far.
Now, I know quarterback competition's not new to you. So last year, of course, there wasn't a competition. Everyone knew it was Parker's job, and you had guys who were trying to earn number 2, and they were obviously working in case something happened to Parker. How have you been able to help these guys that are in a legit competition now, just with your experience that you've had through your career?
I just kind of tell them that I've been there before. I understand, what the competition for a quarterback battle is like, but, nothing's really changed. I'm coaching them both the same. It's not like I have a tip for one guy and I quietly give the other guy a tip, right? I mean, we're one in that quarterback room, although there might be 6, 7 of us in that room at a time. Everybody's on the same playing field. And I just tell them it's up to you, the individual, who's going to grab the bull by the horns, if you will, and lead the team in some capacity, because we know that's what we expect out of quarterbacks. And who's going to take care of the football and who's going to make the most plays. Ultimately, that's going to be the guy that's going to win the position. You know, we don't care who's the nicest guy. You know, I don't think Ryan cares either. He wants the best quarterback. That's what he wants. Who's going to help the Colonels win football games?
And I've been trying to figure out the best way to ask this question, because I know that we're not going to get an answer tonight of who's going to be the starting quarterback. And I know that at least my understanding is at least it hasn't been officially determined anyhow. So there's still time for this battle to go on. That being said, let's do it this way. What are the positives? Right now, it's Matt Morrissey and Cam Hergott are the two guys that we're talking about at that competition that have seemed to be above the rest right now as far as being the starting quarterback for this year. Cam obviously has been in the program. Matt's new to the program, but he is very experienced at the same time. So let's do it this way. What are the strengths of Cam and what are the strengths of Matt?
Well, you know, they both, obviously they have their strengths and weaknesses, but what I will say is that they both can do what we want to be done. Right now, one guy might be able to throw the ball a little further. One guy might be a little faster than the other. But with all that being said, you know, we're gonna build an offense around whoever we feel like is, you know, going to be the winner more than likely. But you know, you got a guy like Cam Hergott, you know, from Beechwood. A lot of people within this state know who he is, and obviously he's very fast, has a strong arm. And he has been in the system. And then you got a guy like Matt Morrissey, who did play last year, albeit played for a team that, you know, didn't win a ton of games, but does have a strong arm and can make all the throws. But he can also run too. He's not as fast as the other guy, but he can do what we want to do within our system. And that's the nice part, is no matter who it is, that's, you know, they can both do what we want to get done.
And I think you would see this from both ways. So Cam had the opportunity to sit behind Parker and to learn from Parker. Matt, in the last couple of years, had the opportunity to be on the field and playing. So what are the pros to both of those things? Because obviously there's a large – I'm a Packer fan. There's a large benefit to sitting behind a quarterback and learning from them, as we got to see, you know, Aaron Rodgers do behind Brett Favre, and now Jordan Love did behind Aaron Rodgers. So how do you see the benefit for Cam having the opportunity to sit behind Parker, and then also for Matt being able to be on the field and put it out there?
Yeah, well, I would say the obvious is, you know, Matt's played. He's been in the fire of Division I football games, right? He's been there, done that in terms of being out there and playing, starting games and what have you. And then you have a guy like Cam, who, although he's a little more, you know, inexperienced, if you will, it is nice, and you kind of referenced it, for me to be able to say, hey, you remember when Parker would do this or Parker would do that? And I do that quite a lot, because although I do have one guy that wasn't around for that, guess what? He's still watching all the film, right? And has seen what Parker has done and the success he had within Coach Richmond's system. And you know, that's the big thing, right? Is I can go back to the film and show them, you know, our offense is good. It does work, and you can be extremely successful in it. If you listen to us coaches and you want to buy into what we want, you know, you can be successful. And Parker proved that, you know, over the years. And that's why Parker is the best quarterback in the history of EKU. You know, statistically speaking, no one really comes close to him. So it is very nice to have that to fall back on, albeit, you know, Cam was there and got to hear it, but I get to also turn on that film and show Matt, you know, what we're expecting from the quarterback position here at EKU.
Awesome. All right, Ryan, I got plenty more, but let you get your words into what you got, Ryan.
Hey, Coach, I got a question. Being a former quarterback, do you ever put yourself back in the position of quarterback, especially like coaching? Like, do you ever go out, see a defense, see too high, and it's like touchdown if he throws this?
I definitely do. And then I get really mad when they don't see what I saw.
Right.
That's actually what's more frustrating for me, is like, ooh, he better go right here with the ball right now. And then it doesn't happen. And that's when you hear me yelling, because then what do I hear from y'all boys? Sack.
Yeah.
because it didn't ball out, right?
Yeah.
But no, absolutely. As a former quarterback, I'm always putting myself in those situations. And that is what's nice about being a former quarterback, is that I pride myself on being able to see it all before it happens, if you will, and I can obviously see it better than when I was playing, because I am a coach now and I am studying it even more than I did before. So yeah, I absolutely put myself in those situations.
You got more, Ryan?
Yeah. Speaking on your room, there's more people, not just those two in your room. You got very successful room. One of them actually left-handed. Is it difficult coaching a left-handed quarterback?
It's all the same when you're talking about scheme, right? That's all the same. But then when I want to go to demonstrate to Jackson, is who he's talking about, Jackson. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to demonstrate this lefty. Let's go ahead and this is what you should do. That's the hardest part for me.
Yeah.
And then certain drills go in certain ways. I'm like, hey, everybody, this is the easier way to do it, except for you, Jackson, because it flipped for you. So, there's just not a lot of lefty QBs out there. You look at the NFL. I mean, it's just kind of a rarity. But no, Jackson's done a phenomenal job. Obviously, Colby's doing a great job, and then we have Brady as well, and Cole Carpenter, who just joined us, this past spring. So, looking forward to seeing what those guys can do. And like we said, it's an open competition; anything can happen.
With Matt really being the only veteran. Now, Cam, he got a few snaps in last year and things like that, but the rest of the room is very young. You mentioned the guys, Cody Lamberth, Jackson House, Brady Clark, Cole Carpenter, and of course, Cam Hergott. So you got that young room there. I think of it this way. It seems like if they come in young, you have the opportunity to mold them. Whereas if they come in experienced, there might be habits that are really hard to break if you're trying to break them, that you either got to live with or try to change those habits. So do you enjoy the working? I know you enjoy working with all of them. Do you enjoy working with young guys that you can kind of mold into what you're trying to make?
Absolutely. You can try and mold them, and they have hopefully less bad habits built over the years, but still coming from high school, they still have a huge learning curve. So, I wouldn't say I enjoy one over the other, per se, but, it is a completely different challenge. That would be the best way to answer it when you got a guy you're having to, it's really just a semantics thing. Like, hey, you've seen cover 3 before, or we've seen quarters, but we call this 3-by-1 check to quarters this versus that. Just that's really the biggest thing with a new quarterback is, hey, it's still this, but it's just a semantics game. No different than a concept. Like, hey, you've had this concept before, right? Well, we call it this versus that. So it's a big learning curve, not just for Matt, for those young guys. And it's part about being a football coach, right? Just got to find different ways to teach guys and make it fun all at the same time.
Now, last year you were the new guy. This year you're the savvy vet on the staff. I mean, there's a lot of new guys on the staff this year. So this might be, we've asked this question to a couple of the guys we've had on, but what is that transition being now? You've got some new voices in the room or in the staff, and it seems like it's brought a lot of energy. Obviously on the offensive side, you've got Eric, who we talked to recently, the offensive line coach. And then I think, let's see, I guess we're getting ready to talk to Brady here in a second, Brady Keeran, tight end coach. So what is that? Has that been a shot of energy? What's it been like being the guy that's not the new guy anymore?
It's been different, so Coach Keeran, he was with us last year,
That's right.
Coach Wells promoted him from within. So the new voice is going to be Coach Rav, who just joined us. And it's just going to be a change of scenery. I'm not really sure yet, but obviously we got some new defensive coaches as well, with Coach Watson and Coach Mathis, and they brought a lot of energy. I've been with them a little bit longer because they were with us in the spring, and they brought a lot of juice to them boys. Coach Mathis is on, Ryan and them all the time, making sure they're running out the stack and chasing the football, and a lot of good energy and a lot of positive things are happening around our football program. And it's been fun to see the defense now we'll kind of figure out what we are offensively as a staff, right, going into fall camp. But it's been fun, getting to know Coach Rav.
All right, last thing I got for you is, obviously everyone's trying to make each other better. All right, so when you're talking to your quarterbacks and you say, all right, you're going to throw it over the middle. Obviously, you've got Rhino coming up the middle. All right, so what are you telling them on the best way to evade or attack Ryan as he's coming up the middle?
Well, I would hope that all my quarterbacks are faster than Ryan. So I would just say, get out of there, scramble, boys. Ryan, he has wreaked plenty of havoc since I've been here. Saturdays as opposed to camp season or spring practice, because thankfully I don't have to see him during prep because he's not a scout team player.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I can't wait to go against Ryan this fall. It's a blast. He brings a ton of energy and is no doubt the leader of that D line.
Yeah, and he is getting so much older, so obviously he's probably losing a step. Ryan, anything else for Coach Smith?
Yeah, the only chance the quarterback's got is if I get less reps this camp, which I doubt that.
All right.
But I do got one more.
Yeah.
The old saying is like you recruit a quarterback every year. How does that honestly go, especially with having a bunch of young quarterbacks? Do you try and get different styles as freshmen come in, or do you try and pick around the same?
That's a great question. Yes, you do recruit a quarterback every year, and sometimes you have to be recruiting more than one, just because with the transfer portal now, you're a player. Anything can happen at any point for whatever reason it may be, whether it be that some kid just wants an opportunity somewhere else, something can happen with a family member that they need to move closer to home. So you're constantly recruiting quarterbacks. And then typically, if you do have an offense that's been run like here at EKU and we've been successful, we want to find a quarterback that matches what we do, i.e. Parker McKinney, someone that can run the football when they need to, but is an extremely accurate passer, smart, and can lead the team. So but yeah, that's it. I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, and I mean, we got to ask it. Do you want to tell us who's going to win that job, that quarterback job?
I would tell you guys if I knew.
Okay.
I would. So, but no, it's going to be an open competition, and just honestly very excited to see the guys compete, and may the best Q win.
Yeah, we're excited about it, Coach, and I know that's been a fun competition so far. And we're excited to see how it shakes out. I honestly, this is just me guessing. I anticipate to see them both at some point this season. Throughout the season, I'm excited for Cam for an opportunity just as a young Kentucky kid. And then it's also, though, obviously our desire as fans is for the team to win too. And so if that's Matt, if that's Cam, if it's Brady, if it's Cole, if it's Colby, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. We're going to support whoever's out there on the field, and we're excited to see what you've done with them throughout this offseason. And it won't be long, Coach. You'll be at Mississippi State. You've been there a time or two, I'm sure. So we'll be there. You guys will be there August 31st. Looking forward to it. Coach, thanks a lot for your time. We appreciate it. Good luck this season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate y'all having me. Have a good night.
Yes, sir. Maxwell Smith, QB coach at EKU. That was a lot of good insight. I appreciate him, and I was joking around with him. I knew he was never going to answer who's in the lead or anything like that. But there was a lot of good insight there from Coach Maxwell Smith. Excited for him. All right, let's bring in guest number 2 tonight. He has been promoted to the tight ends coach this year. He's Brady Keeran. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing awesome. How are you enjoying the new role, man?
It has been incredible to be able to work with these guys, and especially being promoted within, being able to be around this team last year, and getting to know this offense and getting to know these players, and then now being actually, coach them, be hands-on. It's been great, and to be really gifted the room that I was given It's been incredible. It is a great room with great guys and really good athletes. So it's truly been a gift. Coach Conrad did such a great job with these guys and getting them ready for last season and even going into the spring. That it truly, I was gifted a great opportunity. So it's been wonderful.
It is a stacked room. There's no doubt about that. Before we get to the room, I want to start a little bit with your history, because you've had been in the coaching circles now for a while. And my understanding is you actually worked with the defense for a bit as well before transitioning. Now you did some special team stuff and now tight end stuff as well. So talk about your journey a little bit. Help us get to know you a little bit on as far as what got you to where you are right now.
Absolutely. So I've played football my whole life, played in high school and everything, and then actually did not play in college. Actually got the opportunity to start coaching early, so I became a student assistant. What's really cool to be going on after Maxwell Smith is my first job in college coaching was actually I was a student assistant. Coach Maxwell Smith was the GA that I worked for.
Nice.
So it's weird, just it's been awesome being able to work with him whenever I first started, and now we're coaching next to each other. So I started out as a student assistant at the University of Kentucky, and there I worked with the defensive side of the ball and special teams, specifically with Dean Hood and Brad White and Matt House, who's Jackson House, his father. So being able to work on the defensive side of the ball, and then I got my first graduate assistant opportunity at Murray State University whenever Coach Hood left the University of Kentucky to go to Murray State. And so I spent 2 years there, and that's where I was offense and special teams graduate assistant, but I also got to coach the tight ends as a GA. So that's where my first trial at, coaching tight ends. My first experience was at Murray State. Then from there, I met the coach Kevin Sherman, who took a job at the University at Buffalo, and I got the opportunity to go up there. From there, I met Coach Brad White, who took a job at the University of Memphis, and got to go there. And then from there on, got the call from Coach Wells, who I've actually known since 2015, his first go around here. Well, not his first go around, but one of his go arounds at Eastern Kentucky University. That's where I first met him, got to work with him at Kentucky. And he called and offered me the offensive analyst job last year and the opportunity to come back home. I'm from Kentucky. I'm from Ashland, just, a couple hours down the road. So the opportunity to come back and work with him and his staff, I could not turn that down. So that's really been really my journey to get where I'm at.
What is the ultimate goal? Is it head coach? Is that where you want to be someday? What's kind of the dream?
Absolutely. That's the ultimate goal, is to be a head coach. I'd love to be a coordinator, an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator. But ultimately is to be a head coach, because that's why I got in this to begin with. I tell, my guys, I tell anybody that I talk to about what I do is that at some point, football ends for us all. And to me, it ended early. And it meant that much to me that I had to find a way back in. And luckily I got a way back in. And I know everything that this sport has given to me and gave to me at such a young age and is still given to me. And I love to be able to use that as a platform. And so ultimately my ultimate goal is to be a head coach one day.
I love it, man. That's awesome. Let's talk about you guys. You mentioned it earlier on. You're gifted with the room. I mean, Hunter Brown, Lucas Raber, Mena Mannion, Kellen Bowen. There's a couple other guys too, Zach Russell, Ben Hayes, and now Ben Fay been added last time I checked, at least. And so talk about what the there's been some injury bugs and things like that along the way too. So these guys, I feel like the talent that is in this room right now as a whole is the best it's been in my time watching EKU. We've had good tight ends, of course, but the depth that you have is incredible.
Yeah. So really, it's been whenever I was, first got this opportunity, like you said, there had been some injuries. And so what I give these guys is their work ethic just through the rehab process and through, getting in the training room and doing all the right things to get the opportunity to play. Like Hunter Brown, had a little injury in spring, and now he's back running around. So it pays dividends, and it shows really who they are as a team. Like you said, I've got Zach Russell, who's played in games, Mena Mannion, who's played in games. These guys are played last year. They've had the reps. So it's been the injury bug hit, and we've rehabbed and we're ready to rock and roll. But we have guys in our room that are ready to play the game.
did those injuries, how did they help the guys that weren't injured? I remember, I think it was Zach that got a lot of time in the spring game.
Right.
Those kinds of things, obviously more reps and different things with practice, even though it wasn't the full practices and things like that. How did that opportunity maybe help those guys that weren't injured that could put in some extra reps?
Oh, there's no question that it helped. It's always, next guy up. You ask any football player, your opportunity comes, whenever it's that next guy up mentality. And so being able to, if there is an injury, having guys that are ready to step up. And I will say that they did step up, and there's never been an issue with, hey, I know that you're, a true freshman or whatever it may be. I need you to go in here and I need you to get reps. I need you to take these reps, whether it be with the ones or the twos. They're there and they're ready to do it. And what I tell my guys, we go full speed. So if you're going in, say I got, a true freshman getting some reps with the ones or the twos, you don't know exactly what to do. We're going full speed. And so these mental reps that they're getting on the sideline, and then, just the muscle memory being out there, there's no question that this opportunity has really helped their development to be able to gain reps and understand our offense and get kind of the flow of things.
Ryan, what do you got for Coach Keeran?
Man, Coach, it's unfortunate that you should have never told me you coached on defense, because we could have used you over here. Coach's energy is absolutely infectious, and I've known that since fourth quarters when we first met him, and it's through the roof. But back to the tight ends. What do you believe is one of the more difficult techniques to teach tight ends? Blocking with a tackle, or honest, just out and open route running?
I would say both, but to answer your question, I think that route running specifically can be a little bit more difficult. Being able to, whenever we're run blocking, being able to have that help from the tackle, it is extreme. Run block is extremely hard, but you put a guy that's not always used to running routes, and you put him in space and you tell him to go get open. That's what I tell my guys: path of least resistance, go find the space. That can be a little more difficult. I tell my guys, we got to be the athletes on the field. We got to be able to run block. We got to be able to run routes. We got to be able to win at the catch point and catch these balls and get yards after contact. So I think there's difficulties in everything. Some guys are better at some things. Some guys are better than others. But that's what makes the tight end position so special, is that we have to be able to do it all. As far as, teaching the run game and teaching the pass game, both come with their difficulties, for each individual athlete. And that's what makes my job so fun, is that, I've got some guys that are better in the run game and some guys that are better in the pass game. And being able to have guys that are both, good in run and good, we all help each other. I mean, it's truly been great coaching the room that I have, because, some guys are better at other things, and being able to learn off of each other, that's why our room has become so much more well-rounded. We can do it all. Sometimes we get the opportunity to have two tight ends in the game, whether we're, run blocking or pass catch, running routes. So, they both come with their difficulties, but having the room that I have, and, having guys that are really good at both, it's been really easy to teach those techniques and kind of learn off of each other as well.
You guys have on the team a lot of pass catchers, and the wide receiver room is very deep as well. I can look at this tight end room and I can say, man, it just makes sense for you to have 2 and even 3 tight ends on the field at times, but that means you got to take guys off the field too. Right. Is there, I'm trying to think, how can I ask this that's not going to be asking for too much information? Has there been conversations about how can we get these guys on the field? Because we got to find snaps for them somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what, our offensive coordinator, Andy Richmond, does such a great job at, is that, we can do all different types of things. And we do, and we have shown that in games. We can have multiple tight ends on the field, or we can have no tight ends on the field and have success all around. So, our offensive coordinator does a great job at understanding those moments when we should have who we should have in the game. And so honestly, we're able to capitalize whether we have 1, 2, or no tight ends in the game, just because of the guys we have around us. And our offense coordinator puts us in a great position, at that moment, to use our personnel how we need to do it. That's what's been so great about this offense, is we can do so many things, and it really comes to our advantage, because we can show so many different things and put different people in the game and different types of bodies to keep the defense guessing.
Who's the guy that is going to surprise in the tight end room? Who's the guy that's going to surprise the fans the most, do you think, in a good way?
Yeah, you mentioned his name earlier, Zach Russell. He got some playing time last year. say his name's Chevy. We call him Chevy. So Chevy, I'm telling you, this guy, he is a worker, and he is strong, and he is physical. And I like to see Chevy do some big things this year. He's worked hard. This is a guy who this past summer was working an internship in construction and would be at his internship all day doing construction, would come and lift and run with our team on his lunch break, would go back to work, and then at 4:00 he would be at practice ready to rock and roll, run blocking, running routes. This is a guy who works his tail off. And so I'm ready to see some big things out of Chevy this fall camp.
He's listed at 6'4", 267. Is he every bit of that?
I tell you what, you don't get the name Chevy for no reason. I promise you that.
So is it like a rock? Is that what we're talking about with Chevy, or what is this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, are you like why we call him Chevy?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's built like a Chevrolet.
Okay.
And he is as powerful as a Chevrolet.
Okay. I like it. Another Kentucky kid, by the way, Johnson County,
Absolutely.
Kentucky.
606 there.
Yeah. Then, I mean, I'm just looking at these guys, like the guys that we know. Of course, Zach, you got Mena, who's still young, and had some moments last year as well. Lucas Raber, Hunter Brown. I mean, and then there's other guys that I really don't know, Ben Hayes, and then the latest freshman, Ben Fay. But I mean, I can't imagine how competitive it is with these guys right now, because I mean, I've talked with A.W. Hamilton and Coach Todd about basketball, and you got to get the ball in someone's hands. Everybody wants to shoot, but there's only one ball. Well, the same is true in football. There's more guys out there. I cannot imagine what's the camaraderie like, because it seems like it's good. What's the camaraderie like in the tight end room?
It is great. It is outstanding. And when I mean that off the field, I mean that in the meeting room, and I mean that on the field. It makes running meetings really easy for me, because I can pull a play up and we can talk about a play, and I've got 3 or 4 guys in the room talking about it. And it's not just the guy that's on the play. I could be at Indy and I could be working an Indy drill, and a guy could take a rep and he's off to the side now, and that guy that went before him is now kind of coaching him up. So the camaraderie in my room is outstanding right now. And I think that really pays dividends, and has shown why we have improved the way that we've improved, because everybody's got each other's back. And I see that a lot on this football team as well. I'm not just saying that for a tight ends room. I see that a lot on our football team, is guys helping each other out. And it's, you might not be in, but then everyone else is a coach on the sideline and they're watching so they can help you out. It's very competitive, of course. It's a very competitive nature, but everyone has each other's back, and that's been great to coach, and it's been great to be a part of for now 2 years.
Love it. Ryan, what else you got for Coach Keeran?
That is all accurate. The tight ends are definitely one of the closer groups off the field, more than just on the field. But, Coach, I have to ask, how does it feel to be able to call recruits now and be like, this is the tight end coach at Eastern Kentucky?
Oh, it's great. I love it. It's awesome. Recruiting is one of those things. It's you do it everywhere, but now I'm able to call and say, hey, I want you to be in my room. I want you to come play for me. I want you to come, let me coach you and, get you ready to be a part of this offense. It's been outstanding. That's such an important piece of the game. And also, and being able to, really recruit somebody to come be a part of the program that has given me an opportunity too. Let me give you an opportunity, because this program has given me an opportunity. Coach Wells gave me this opportunity to be the tight ends coach here. And so being able to recruit somebody to come and be a part of a program that's given me now my opportunity, it's been incredible.
What was that transition like? Because my understanding, Coach Conrad, that was a little bit unexpected, and so when that change happened, did you put in your name? Was it how did that go down for you on your end, as far as, okay, well, hey, there's a position available. It's a position I can coach. I know Coach Wells. We've been working for him. Like stuff. How did that go down?
Right. I think that, having my previous experience coaching tight ends at Murray State had a lot to do with it. I had a great opportunity at Murray State to coach with Evan McKissick, who is now the co-offensive coordinator at Tulane, who is also really close with Coach Wells. And so being able to work with Coach McKissick and, knowing Coach Wells and having worked with Coach Wells, and then, really just every day I went into the office, I worked for this job, and so just really, bringing the energy at practice and, doing everything that I can to help this offense and help this team and do anything I could, definitely, wanted Coach Wells to know that, it would be great to have this opportunity, but even, Coach Wells agreeing and giving me this job is something I'm very thankful for.
I don't pretend to know a lot about college coaching, but the way I see it is that doors open very rarely. And when they open, man, you want to take that, you want to jump through it. And I'm excited for you. I'm excited that this door opened for you. I don't know you, obviously. This is the first time we've ever talked, but I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for the opportunity that you have. I think this is a great opportunity for you again with this room that you have. An awesome opportunity for you. You've worked hard, obviously, to get to this point too, and so we're cheering for you. We're excited to see what your room does this year, and excited to see how the team, of course, does as well. Ryan, anything else for Coach Keeran?
No, I want to share the same excitement. I've been excited ever since we heard the news that you were the new tight end coach. The people aren't the only one that's excited for you, Coach. All the players were too.
Appreciate that, brother.
I love it. All right, Coach. Good luck this season, man. We'll see you around on Saturdays very, very soon. Good luck to you. And again, thanks for taking some time for us tonight.
Absolutely. It was great talking to you.
Yes, sir. Brady Keeran, tight end coach at EKU. Ryan, you mentioned his energy, and you could sense it. I mean, I could sense it, I should say. And I'm excited to continue to get to know him better, learn about him more as well. Great opportunity, a phenomenal opportunity for him with this room. Speaking of this room, our third guest of the night, he is a tight end for EKU. He is a guy with some experience. He's got that 6'4", 240, and maybe he wants to brag about maybe growth in that. I don't know. But nonetheless, he's Hunter Brown, tight end for EKU.
What's up?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing good. The stash is looking good. Who has the best stash in the room?
I like to say it's me, but I'll probably have to give it to my boy Zach Russell, Chevy, because he's got the handlebar. That's the only reason why, though. But he can have it. It's whatever.
Yeah, it's it is what it is, right? Let's talk about some recognition that you've gotten at the end of last year. All UAC first team. You were a unanimous selection. Phil Steele put you on all UAC first team as well. You were the FCS Football Central's all UAC first team as well. You led the conference in receiving yards, 3 touchdowns on 33 receptions. That's a pretty good ratio as well. Let's talk about last year first. I mean, how did last year feel with getting back on the field and the things that you were able to do at EKU?
Yeah, it felt great coming back in because I didn't do anything in the spring, and then I got here in the summer, learned all the plays and all that stuff, and then obviously, like you mentioned, had a decent season. So to have all that hard work that you do in the off season, all that stuff comes to fruition in the season, it's nothing better. So
now, outside of the team goals, was there something last year you didn't accomplish that you want to accomplish this year, individually speaking?
Individually, I've been always wanting to be an All-American. And after the last season, I thought like maybe I'd get like third team or something like that. But, I still am chasing that. So hopefully this year, I would love to be a first team All-American, but anything All-American, and hopefully get like a All-Star game invite or something. So,
yeah. That'd be awesome. Talk about how you feeling. You healthy? You feeling good coming into this camp that's getting ready to start up?
This is probably the least healthiest I've been in my college career, unfortunately. But I don't know what it is. My body must know that like camp's coming around. But like I'm actually feeling the best I've felt since the season's probably ended. So that's something good.
Yeah, very good. All right, Ryan. Talk to Hunter. What do you got?
Yeah, I told you, us old guys, like Hunter's included in that.
I know.
Me, Hunter, Frank Lee, all the old guys. We're in there.
Exactly. The 6 years, baby.
Have to get it in. I got to ask Hunter, since we're talking about last year, how did it feel to last year in your first game score your first touchdown for Eastern?
That was so unreal because that was literally the biggest game. Like, maybe not like the biggest game, like for like playing for something, but like the biggest like crowd I played in front of. So like to score in that like environment, it was surreal, and it was just like it was so awesome. So
tell us about your upbringing a little bit. as well, because you spent time obviously at St. Francis until last year. And, even with high school going back, Pennsylvania, I think, correct? Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about your upbringing and your football life.
All right. So I'm from Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. It's like 9.5 hours from Richmond. And I've been playing football since I can even remember, like flag football. I think I've been playing football for like 18 years now. And I've raised up in a single parent house, and thankful for everything my mom's done. And then she's done everything for me. And, through high school, I played left tackle all 4 years. And then in one playoff game, my senior year, I played tight end. I had like 4 catches, touchdown, whatever. And then after that, basically every school that contacted me wanted me to play tight end. And then the only Division I school was St. Francis. And I went on my visit, and it's a small school. There's like 1,200 kids there or something. But they risked it on me, and I'm thankful for them. And then obviously I had a good enough year, and Eastern Kentucky recruited me, and now I'm here. So
now, left tackle in high school, of course, I'm assuming you had good size in high school, right?
yeah, I was about the biggest kid on my team. Like maybe not weight wise, but like athletically and like size wise, speed. Like I was just the most athletic kid on my team, so they just put me there. So it's like, I mean, I think about it, I'm like, dang, I wish I played tight end, but overall, like it helped me with my blocking, and that's really like as a tight end, that's very important to like any good offense. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. That was kind of where I was going to lead into next, was playing offensive line throughout high school. And I know it's been several years ago now, but you had those fundamentals kind of in place. So then at tight end, you get the opportunity to block and kind of show out your versatility, but not just running and catching, but actually being able to hold your own, at least on the blocking level. What has been the blocking as a tight end, St. Francis versus EKU? Was there any difference in the opponents you're playing where you hit a guy, you're supposed to, chop him or whatever you're supposed to do? I didn't play football. Whatever you're supposed to do. And the first time you hit somebody, you're like, oh, that felt a little different.
Maybe like a little bit, like maybe like within the conference, it was pretty equal, but like obviously the biggest team I played at St. Francis was in the MAC, which is, it's still FBS football, but like to come in and play Cincinnati and Kentucky and then Mississippi State and Western this year, like hitting those boys, you could tell there's a little more oomph in those guys because they're just a little bit bigger and stuff. But other than that, it was about equal.
What you would consider to be your best skill set, as far, and what I mean by that is going over the middle, going long, blocking somebody. What do you think your best skill set?
I think I talked to Brady about this one day before practice. I was like, yeah, I'm like a really good blocker on it. But then he's like, well, you're like, your receiving game is what we like, really. So I was like, I guess like my receiving. But I think probably going over the middle or really like a dig or something like that. It's like a 10-yard in. But it's probably my best. But I like to pride myself on run blocking because you get mean and nasty. So, and then that's basically it.
All right, Ryan, he just said you get mean and nasty. Is that how you define Hunter Brown?
Honestly, yes. Hunter definitely is one of the more premier blockers that we've seen at tight end in a while. Is definitely his O-line background, but Hunter is still probably one of the pound for pound more athletic people on the team, even though a lot of people don't give him that credit.
Thanks, Ryan.
So Hunter, if you could play any other position to help benefit the team, what would it be?
But I think I could play linebacker.
Oh wow!
I just feel like I could just come down and crash some stuff. I don't know, or DN, one of the two. Because I was actually a decent DN in high school. I was like all-state DN and all that stuff, but nope, nobody wanted me for that.
I was expecting you to say running back, seeing some of your St. Francis highlights.
I did play a little running back. I had like 10 carries for like 40-some yards in a tud. Or quarterback. I would love to play quarterback.
Yeah.
Like just one game or something. One practice. I would like one practice at quarterback. That'd be amazing.
You get a scout team quarterback.
I would love that. That'd be amazing.
So we had, of course, Dakota Allen. He went from quarterback to tight end. You'd reverse that. Go tight end to quarterback. Maybe some. I'm trying to think of a non-tragic way to say this. Let's say the quarterbacks all get personal fouls, get thrown out of the game. They need a quarterback. Hunter Brown's the guy they're going to go to.
In. That's it. We're winning by 50.
No.
You don't think so, Rado?
We might save you for the It depends who we playing. We gotta save the closers.
Exactly.
Oh man. All right. So Hunter, again, you've been your college career has been a good length. And so now you're looking at, just like Ryan, you're looking at college careers ending. You mentioned, a goal, you're trying to get invited to some all-star games, obviously get seen, and things like that. So what are you seeing as your path for when college is done? Like, what's next?
So obviously, like we said, like my main goal was the NFL. So like get all the accolades and all that stuff. Good, like have the team win and all that. But ultimately, if I don't make it to the league or like can't play professional football, I would probably like to coach college football. So
yeah. I like to ask this question to some guys too, because there are options. Obviously, the NFL is the goal, but right now there's a ton of options, and we're seeing Jeremy up in Canada right now. It seems like the time of his life.
Exactly.
There's arena ball. There's options out there. So like if the NFL doesn't work out, is the next step to try to get into one of those other leagues?
Yeah, I wouldn't know if I would do like arena ball or something like that, but like obviously like if CFL, UFL, whatever's around, you know what I mean? I would try and get into that, and then if that, I don't know, I'd probably call it in.
Call it in and start heading coaching circles.
Yeah, and try to make my body feel better, you know what I mean?
Definitely. What else you got, Ryan?
Don't be surprised when someday you see me and Hunter on the same staff or something like that.
Oh yeah, you want to coach?
I think I might hire you. We'll see.
Oh, you think so? Maybe.
Or you could hire me, something like that. We'll get that worked out.
Yeah, we'll
work out the details a little bit later.
But I know your college experience is really the only like tight end play you really had. Is there any tight ends you like not grew up watching but currently watch to kind of like model your game after?
I mean, I like to watch George Kittle just because he's mean and nasty. He's a good blocker, but maybe like I like to say that Dallas Goedert's probably my favorite tight end because I think he can do it all, and he also came from the FCS level, like he came from South Dakota State. So it's like if someone watching other people come from the FCS playing tight end as well and make it to the league and be successful, I like to see that, and I like to model myself after that because hopefully I can be the next one.
What about that? Do they still do that tight end down in Nashville?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. What would, if you had that opportunity, how cool would that be?
That would be amazing to be around all those tight ends and learn. And I think I would learn so much and become so much better.
Yeah. And again, I don't know you, Hunter, personally, but your personality, George Kittle seems to make sense. Seems very similar. You guys don't take it too seriously when you're not on the field, but things change once you get on the field.
Oh yeah,
and push some people around a little bit. I've seen Kittle carry some guys, 15 yards down the field in a block. So
exactly, he's dirty. He's mean.
What about special teams? You a kicker, punter, anything like that?
I have a video on my phone of me making a 40-yard field goal. So I tell people I made a 40-yard, and they say, no, you don't. I said, all right, look at this. Show them the video of me kicking it. It wasn't it was a low steamer, but it made it. So
I told you, pound for pound, most athletic person on the team.
There it is. Did you get jealous when the new AD was out there kicking field goals and they were videoing him and not you?
He can have his moment. I'll take mine on Saturdays.
I like it. I like it. Tell us about the rest of your room. You know these guys now. We talked with Coach Keeran just a minute ago, but you got Lucas and Kellen and Mena and Zach and these young guys too. Coach Keeran said, hey, even though there's a lot of competition, the camaraderie is really, really solid in that room. So tell us how much you hate those guys that are in the room with you.
Yeah, I hate all of them. They just annoy me so much. No, I love those guys. They're fun to be around. I like to even outside of football, I like to hang out with them, chat. And it's just like that's what makes football fun. You make all these relationships, and they're all a bunch of good guys. Chevy, like I just was out hanging out with him this weekend and stuff. So it's just nice when you have obviously you have the competition side, then they're coming for your job, you're trying to keep yours, but then it's we're actually friends outside of that, which is nice.
And then last year you had to meet a new quarterback in Parker McKinney when you came to EKU. This year now you gotta be nice to new guys with Matt and Cam fighting it out and everything. What is your mindset with like, hey, don't forget to look over here. I'm open every single time.
I try to tell them before practice, say, hey, if you want to look good, you just throw it to number 3. So, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who pulls out on top, and obviously, I'll be happy for either one, really. So
yeah. Number 3. That's a change from last year, correct?
Yeah, I did change it. So
okay, is there a story behind it?
Not really, but so when I came in, they listed off a bunch of numbers that I could pick from, like last season, and I hated all of them. Like they were just all ugly. I was like, I do not like this. And I was looking at the roster. I was like, what, like 16's open. Like, why can't I get 16? They were like, oh, we're saving it for Lucas or whatever. But like, they're like, you can have it, but you probably have to give it back next season. So I was like, all right, just give me 16. And then I got back from January, and Lucas, he didn't want it, but like he wanted it, but he's like, yeah, you can just keep it. And I was like, dude, I don't really want that. So I'll change my number. And I don't know, I've always wanted to be a single digit. So I was like, can I be number 3? And they said, yeah. I was like, all right, bet.
Now that's lofty shoes to fill for number 3, though.
I know.
Yeah.
It is very lofty.
You gonna rack up all those catches and yards to fill that void?
I don't know about all the catches and yards, but I'll try my best.
I like it. Ryan, anything else for Hunter?
No, I'm just ready to get after it. We get to compete on Tuesday. He's fully healthy, full go.
Can't wait. Finally back.
Yeah, one of the most competitive guys on the team. One of the most funny guys to get rowdy with. It's about to get fun.
About to get fun. August 31st, it gets real fun down in Mississippi State as well. Hunter, we're excited for you. I hope you continue to get healthy and stay healthy, and we're excited for this final year for you. Looking forward to seeing those accolades add up, and of course, the team have success as well. Thanks for doing this, man. We appreciate it, and good luck the rest of the way, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem at all. It's Hunter Brown, the all UAC tight end here at EKU. Man, that's a fun night, Ryan.
Yeah.
Who would have thought talking to quarterbacks and tight ends would be fun? But it turned out really, really well. I'm excited, man. I can't wait. The goal is next week, and I cannot confirm this is going to be the case. The goal is next week to talk to Coach Wells. See if we can get it. I don't know that we'll be able to, but if we can, we'll have Coach Wells on next week. And as with camp starting up, it's going to get crazy schedule wise for you guys. So we'll do our best to keep it coming though. I'm excited about what's ahead. I told Ryan off the air, continuing interviews on the Matthew Jackson documentary. Talked with Matthew's mom this week, spent an hour with her, and it was a blast. I'm telling you, I'm really excited about this project. And so that should be coming out hopefully in September. The Matthew Jackson documentary. I think we're calling it From the Shadows of the Coliseum or something like that. As he grew up just outside the Titan Stadium. So anyways, we're excited about that. That's coming out. And we're going to continue, of course, our EKU football coverage all season long. And I can't believe we're getting ready to turn the calendar to another month. And next thing you know, oh man, it's going to be wild. It won't be long. We'll be sitting there in Roy Kidd Stadium and cheering you guys on. So, all right. I will, Miss Bailey. I will. We'll make sure. Well, I know that'll make the difference for sure. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you listening always and your support of the program, by the way. And everyone that listens, we appreciate it, of course, as well. Ryan, any closing thoughts?
No, other than we're about to get into the meat and potatoes of people. It's all starting to wind down. I think it's less than 50 days, way less than that now. It's an exciting time, and I know I speak for the group right here, but we're excited to show the world what we can really do. This is about to be a real competitive time for us to where we really see what we're made of. But we've worked hard to put on a good show.
Yeah. Well, we're under 40 days now. Yeah, under 40 days till first game. So it's going to be awesome. Follow us on social media at Sports Stove. We're on Twitter and Instagram. And tune back in next Monday for more EKU coverage. We sure love to have you. Make sure you visit allaroundroofingky.com. If you live in Central Kentucky, you have any issue on the exterior of your home, windows, siding, gutters, roof repair, replacement, chimney flashes, whatever it is. All Around Roofing, KY.com. And make sure you let them know you heard about them at the Sports Stove or on the Sports Stove. Just don't tell them about my bad grammar. All right. We're going to get to it. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's edition. Thank you for the guest, Coach Smith, Coach Keeran, Hunter Brown. Thanks, Isaac, for setting that up for us as well. Until next time, we'll see you around the Sports Stove.